Hi, I'm Margie McGlynn, and I'm a co-founder of HCU Network America, and I'm the president of the board of directors. I was inspired to start HCU Network America really to honor my two sisters, Judy and Susie. Judy and Susie were really sweet. They were both very kind. They both loved to play. Judy liked to laugh a lot.
I'm Ed Hempling, and I'm the eldest sibling in the Hempling family. And I was 11 years old when my two sisters were diagnosed.
So I was in between Judy and Susie. I was 2 years younger than Judy and 2 years older than Susie. And I was 4 when they were diagnosed.
I was kind of like a second mother to Judy and Susie because I was the oldest girl.
Judy was diagnosed first at age 6 because she had issues with her eyesight. And they then tested for homocystinuria, as they had recently become aware in the field of ophthalmology that displaced lenses were often a symptom of a genetically based disease, which is homocystinuria.
She'd be right up on top of the TV almost, you know, when she watched something. They were about 5 and 9 or 4 and 9. But by then, Judy had several things wrong with her.
So they tested all of us in the family. There were 6 of us alive at the time. And they found that my 2-year-old sister, Susie, also had homocystinuria.
I know that my mother had voiced later that she was worried that they would say that Susie had it because they noticed that she had, you know, developed things a little bit slower, and it was determined then that Susie had it also. But none of the rest of us did, which I could never quite understand. I always think, like, I felt a little guilty about that, like, well, you know, why them, and, you know, things like that.
I remember feeling like I was spared, and, you know, being in between the two of them. I remember thinking, well, why did my older sister get it and my next younger sister get the disease, and I didn't?
They told me not to have any more kids before I had Joanne, because it could happen again. And the rhythm system doesn't always work for everybody.
I don't think we know what we were dealing with right back then. We were just getting information on it. There was no internet back then, and this disease was not widely known whatsoever.
I mean, homocystinuria, what does that mean to anybody? And
if they knew more about it, it would have helped. But they were grasping like everybody else.
They were, you know, pretty normal children. They played, they laughed. It was really over the next, you know, I guess 8 years that they continued to live, that they became progressively worse and started to have issues like seizures, blood clots, etc. Were in and out of hospitals.
They had one had trouble walking and cerebral palsy symptoms, and the other one had speech and seemed to be a little slower behind and difficulty communicating verbally.
I think at that time, you know, they told my parents to put them on a special diet.
Yeah, they were experimenting with diet. You know, this was 1964 when they were diagnosed, but they really didn't have the understanding that they have today.
I think they were very hopeful, but they were deteriorating, and to the point where Mom was strapped in a wheelchair in a home, and you know, and they were always in a home. I may add, my mother was very loving and wonderful.
I know some of the experts recommended that my parents put Judy and Susie into an institution that was designed to take care of mentally retarded, handicapped children. But my parents would not consider it. They were their children, and they knew that they could take better care of them than anyone else could. And I really give my parents credit for helping them lead as normal a life as they could.
So back then there was no support groups, no help, no one else to go to. We didn't know anybody else with this illness whatsoever. And really nothing about it other than at a certain point they weren't going to live long.
You know, as a child, you know what death is, but knowing that a sibling that you're very close with is at risk of death at a very young age because of this disease, it's just really scary. I, kept hoping that there could be medication for them, My father owned a pharmacy, was a pharmacist, and he was really frustrated that there weren't any medicines to treat them.
Well, the year they died, I was 15. Susie died first, and she died on Joanne's birthday. Joanne was turning 4. It was a weekday because I was in school. And I was walking down the hall by the principal's office to go to my locker. We were changing classes, and I saw my brother in the office. He came out and he said, I have to take you home. And I said, what's wrong? And he just said, Susie's real bad in the hospital. We got in the car, and as we were driving home, he told me that she had passed away.
The message I want patients and families to get is that we are here to help. Let us help you manage this disease. Have hope, have confidence in the future, and we believe that by working together, we can help you or we can help your child to lead a much more normal and fulfilling life.